Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Chapter 7, Part 1, where we start multiplying, dividing, and simplifying rational exponents. So let's take a peek at number 1. When we are multiplying these variables or numbers with exponents, when we multiply, we are going to add the exponents. Only when we are multiplying are we going to add the exponents. So here, how many do we have on this x? We have one exponent there, another 3 here, and another 5. So when we add those exponents all up, we get x to the ninth. Now with number 2, we still multiply the numbers. If they're different numbers, we're still going to multiply those numbers. So we have 5 times 2, which is 10. And now remember, what do we do with our exponents of the same variable? So here and here, we are going to add up those variables. So it's going to be x to the 6th. And then we have y. How many exponents are on this y? There's one exponent on the y, and there's 3 here, so it's y to the 4th. Now on number 3, it's the same situation. We have numbers in front. Now it's a negative times a negative, so a negative times a negative makes a positive 20. Then we have a. How many a's do we have? We have 1a times a to the 5th. Remember, when we multiply, we add, so it's a to the 6th. And now we have a b, so it's b to the 6th because you also add them up. Now, 4 is a little bit different. Now here, 4 is a power. We have an exponent to a power. When you have an exponent to a power, notice the difference here to here. They're being multiplied. Here is a power to a power. When it's a power to a power, you multiply the two numbers, so it's going to be a to the 6th. Number 5, when that power is outside and you have two things inside those parentheses, that power has to go to both of those things. So in number 5, we have x to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. Same with 6. Now we have 3 different things inside those parentheses, so that 3 has to go to the 4, it has to go to the 2, and it has to go to the c. Well, when it goes to the 4, it's just 4 to the 3rd for right now. And then remember, it's a power to a power when we go to a squared, so it's going to be a to the 6. Just look at number 4, it's the same thing as number 6. And then c to the 3rd. Now if we keep going with this though, 4 to the 3rd, we want to multiply that out, put that in the calculator, so it's going to be 64, a to the 6th, c to the 3rd. Let's try some more. Now we have a division bar. So we're going to simplify this expression, and assuming that the denominator doesn't equal 0, why can't the denominator equal 0? Because then there would be no problem, it would be undefined. But now when we have division with the same variable, we look at their exponents and we subtract them. So I'm going to write it out just real quickly here. So it would be the same as saying m to the 5th minus 3, and so we would do that just m squared. Now looking at 8, 4 minus 2, which is going to give us x squared, y to the, looking at your exponents, to the 3rd, because we subtract the 6 and the 3. Looking at number 9, now we have numbers. So starting with our numbers, if you just saw 8/16 just sitting there on a piece of paper, what would you do? You would simplify that to 1/2. How do we simplify that? By dividing out an 8 on top, dividing out an 8 on the bottom. So we are left with 1/2, and now x to the 4th minus x squared, so it's going to be x squared. And then y to the 6th minus y to the 3rd, so it's going to be y cubed. We can also rewrite it without that 1 if you so choose, so it's x squared times y cubed all over 2. Now with 10, there's something special here with 10. We subtract it, right? So it's going to be n to the 0, guys. Please check this out. This is n to the 0, n to the 0. Anything to the 0 turns into 1. Anything to the 0 exponent turns into 1. Alright, let's try a couple more. Number 11. Now we are dealing with negative exponents. That is a negative 3. So now t to the negative 3rd is 1 over t to the 3rd. When you have a negative exponent and we're asked to write it without negative exponents, If you have a negative exponent, it will go to the bottom of a fraction. So if you think about this being over 1, now to get it unnegative, we put it to the bottom of the fraction, and now we just put a 1 over top of it. Let's try number 12. So this x to the negative second, we have a fraction bar. That goes on the bottom because it's negative. Y to the 6 stays on top. Now anything to the 0 power, check your notes, is 1. I'm going to rewrite this just so it looks a little bit nicer. It's going to be y to the 6th over x squared. 13 as they get a little bit harder. Now we have t to the 4th, and I'm going to write it out. This division bar means what? It means to subtract, correct? Now what are we subtracting? We are subtracting a negative 3. So minus a negative turns into a plus. So it's going to be on my fraction bar, t to the 7th to start off with. Now again, I subtract those two u. So I have u to the 1st minus 7. So that's a negative 6, right? Negative 6. So where's the negative go? It goes to the bottom. So it's u to the 6th. And now I have v to the negative 2nd. And so the v now goes where? To the bottom. So I rewrite it again just to make it look all nice and pretty. T to the 7th, u to the 6th, v squared. 14. Now we are multiplying and we have fraction bars. What do we do here? Let's just take the top and let's then worry about the bottom. So the top right now is 6a squared c to the 4th. On the bottom it is 3c cubed a to the 4th. Can we clean any of this up? Starting with your numbers. 6 divided by 3 is 2. That's awesome. Now look at our a's. If we subtract our a's, we're left with a to the negative 2nd. If we subtract our c's, it's just c, right? What do you have to do with that negative power up there? You go 2 and then go over a squared, and then c also belongs with that 2. Let's try 3 more. These you kind of like, and we'll cover these a little bit in class too because you have to see a calculator in front of you. Anytime where you have a square root like this or a cube root, you can type it into your calculator. Different ways you can type it into your calculator. There's a cube root button on most of your calculators that I'll show you tomorrow. Or if you want to, you can go 343, type that in, caret, and then with the fraction key, 1/3. So you type that into your calculator, you would find out that is 7. Same thing with 16. 256 to the 1/4. Type it in, check it out, it's 4. Now, same thing here, just make sure you put parentheses around it. So when you type it in, it would be parenthesis, then your fraction key, and then 27, and that would be caret 1, and then fraction key 3, and then you punch it in just like so. It would give you 2/3. Again, we'll cover this stuff more tomorrow in class. Also later in the year, you will know how to solve this without a calculator. And now I know you're interested. Have a great rest of your day.